Yep. So now we are recording.
Okay.
Thanks for making it.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
To this podcast that I do.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Fuck yeah, nice.
Yeah. I'm still real new to the podcast. People tell me that I've had a lot of people say like, "Oh, dude, you should start your own podcast." I'm like, dude, I feel like I don't have anything to add to the podcast community.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so. I also just really,
There's already so many podcasts.
So many podcasts.
Like nobody really has anything to add.
Exactly.
It's kind of like people out competing with each other to make something more nothing than somebody else. I feel like hopefully that's what it is, and that would work out in my favor. I think.
Who can make the best thing that's already been done before?
Yeah, right. But like, there's these kids that make a podcast where they're called like the Maryland Foodie Boys or something, and they just talk about. They're like kids, and they just talk about like food that they like.
Yeah,
it's like the most nothing podcast that's out there, but people love it.
I'm gonna say millions of listens, probably. Yeah. Probably. For some reason, people love to listen to kids talk about food and toys and shit.
Yeah, they just like talk. They like hearing anyone talk about their favorite like fast food restaurant or. Yeah. Or for some reason, it's interesting enough.
Well, also kids
for people to talk about like the new thing at Wendy's or whatever.
Well, especially kids, because kids get hype about that shit.
Right? Yeah, they're more into it.
They're like, dude, you see the Krabby Patty burger at Wendy's? They got the Krabby Patty burger.
Yeah. Did you ever try that? I actually went to Wendy's when they had that, and I was like, absolutely not.
You didn't try it?
I'm like, absolutely not. Am I gonna buy that?
Yeah.
Because I would feel like a child, maybe, or something.
You should have got it. I didn't try it, but my roommate tried it, and he was like, "Dude, it tastes just like every other burger I've ever had."
Yeah, I didn't get the opportunity to eat the Krabby Patty burger, but
it's a shame. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you miss out on in life.
One of them is the Krabby Patty burger.
One of them is being on Eddie Sherman's podcast.
Not me.
Yeah, for me. Help, I'm high and I can't get down.
Yeah, it got 100 views. Come on.
Are you serious?
Huh? Yeah.
Damn it. I'm not getting 100 views yet on mine.
Well, 100 between all three platforms you put it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I maybe have a few episodes that I got 100. Nice. I made a podcast before this podcast that it was just me doing all of it. And those got like hundreds of views for some reason, and then this one doesn't. But this one is actually better.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes it better?
I'm more evolved now. I'm smarter. I'm a better human.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. Every day I get better, and
right.
I think that I think it's better just because it's more open to that I'm able to have guests on it.
Right.
And the other one was just kind of like a book. It was like it kind of worked out to be an audiobook because I like began it and ended it.
Okay.
So it's just like a closed circuit.
And did it have a structure to it the entire time?
It did have a structure to it, and it was written a certain way.
Oh, interesting. What was that?
It's called Identity. And it's kind of just like a piece of crap, but it's like
but hundreds of people listened to it.
At the time, I think that people were like, "Oh, what the hell?
What the hell is that?"
People that knew me were like, "What?" So they tuned in to see what the hell. Why am I doing any of that?
Hell yeah, that's dope. At least it's something different. Shit, I haven't heard about anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't publicize it. I didn't tell anybody.
All right, what do we want to get into? What hard hitting shit?
What do you think that nonsense is gay?
Do you have questions for me?
That's my first question.
Okay, hell yeah. Do I think nonsense is gay?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think nonsense.
Why not?
So like gay in what way? Like gay like homosexual?
I guess I tend to think that nonsense is gay. Just like categorically. Just like it would fall in that category. And I feel like the...
So wait, let me break this down real quick. So when you say gay, do you mean homosexual or do you mean like that's gay?
That's gay.
Okay.
Yeah, more like that.
Gotcha. Nonsense is gay.
But I mean, it could border on homosexual.
So if we're talking about,
I think that it's gay because it's like it's not tied down to anything. I think that the world that makes sense of things, they are more straightforward, like more real or more truthful or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then
you start getting into nonsense.
It's a non-existence of sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like stuff that you're uncertain about is more gay, I think, because it's like gay could be anything.
Really, it could.
Yeah, that's why it's like, oh, that's gay. Like you can call anything like, oh, that tree looks gay. You could call anything gay,
but you can't say that makes sense to anything.
Right.
Some things don't make sense.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Okay, so before we move on to the next question, so if we're avoiding that's gay, like that's gay, that sort of thing, like nonsense is homosexual, if that's what we're saying. If we're specifically saying nonsense is homosexual, then the reverse statement of that would be that homosexual is nonsense. Now that
I don't agree with that.
No. I want to be very clear. I don't agree with that.
No.
But what he said about it,
just like that's gay, is nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm taking like a gay, like open to interpretation,
a loosey-goosey approach to gay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Which is pretty gay.
Because gay is like silly like that. It's
Yeah.
just like anything.
So then, yes,
whatever weird thing that you think of, gay
Right.
is weird.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So then, yes, I completely agree. Nonsense is in fact gay.
Okay, I guess that I had an agenda because I already knew what I'm glad that we directed in that direction. We came to that conclusion.
Yep, it was a good open discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but okay. So now because I influence you to think.
You did
the way that I was thinking.
You absolutely did, because you gave me your answer before I gave you my answer.
Yeah, was that all that I wanted to do the entire time? Jesus, what the hell is wrong with me?
First of all, I want to make sure where I'm parked. Is that cool? I'm just like right in the middle.
That's
of the
uncool.
It's uncool.
Yeah.
Is it uncouth?
It's not kosher.
Well, should I move to the street or something?
You gotta do something cooler with the way that you parked. No, I don't know.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
So with questions moving forward, you can't influence me first.
It's fine. There's nobody. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
you can park there.
Moving forward, though, you have to let me answer first, and then you can.
I know. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then you can try and influence me after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that question is gone. I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be like 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it's also
I cut it off.
Also the whole question is null and void now. Because you answered first.
Yeah.
Which is gay.
Yeah, my bad. It's a gay thing that I infused into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like what kind of music do you like?
I listen to a lot of jazz, R&B, hip hop.
Jazz, really?
Huge jazz guy.
Okay.
Like, that's probably my main thing that I listen to is jazz. Mostly instrumentals, but there's a few guys that I listen to that put a little vocal in there too.
What do you like about jazz?
So jazz is, I say I'm a drummer. I used to drum. I've been out of practice a lot, but I love drumming. And jazz drummers are the shit, because jazz drummers is it's like a real independent thing. They can go, as long as they stay on tempo, they can really do their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's mostly why I love jazz, but I also love the brass.
Yeah.
Huge brass guy. Trumpet, sax, all that. Love it.
But you like the drums more?
Huge drums.
Yeah, but you're saying you play the drums a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm pretty good.
I also play the drums.
Hell yeah. So yeah. I haven't learned how to play a jazz beat yet. I'm still learning a jazz beat. Because jazz drum is a lot of like ghost notes and different tempos, speeding up, slowing down, crescendos, decrescendos.
Yeah. Well, they can sort of do everything, right?
Absolutely. If you can learn how to play,
because they're like they have to do that to be a jazz drummer.
Exactly.
Like they have to
If you
know all
can
this
play
shit.
jazz drums, you can do anything with the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I do admire that, or like jazz drumming.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I knew all of the rudiments.
Right.
Because there's like a bunch of them.
There's like 80 something.
Yeah, and you can like spend all day practicing them or whatever. Then that might actually be worth your while because you'd become somebody like a jazz drummer.
Right. And if I wasn't doing stand-up as much as I am, I would be practicing those rudiments. I have my little pad at home that I used to when I was back in college.
Okay, yeah. I need a pad.
Yeah.
I have a drum set, an acoustic drum set, but it would be nice to have a pad.
Pad's great for the rudiments specifically.
Yep, that you could just practice all of them. For sure, like the flam.
Yep. Love a flam.
The flam, like 5 hit, like... Where you do the flam and then it turns into like double hits of other things.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the flam is great.
Have you checked out, so do you like jazz as well?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the names in jazz.
Right, but like just in being able to enjoy the music itself.
Yeah, I mean, I could enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you like jazz drummers though?
I could enjoy it, but I don't.
Okay.
I've seen the movie Whiplash. That's about it.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. That's the movie.
Oh yeah.
That's
one of my
movie-
favorites for sure.
That is literally the movie that got me into playing drums.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
My ex-girlfriend's brother, who was a semi-professional drummer, I would come home from work and we would go down to the basement and he would give me drum lessons.
Yeah. My uncle gave me drum lessons.
Hell yeah.
And he just kind of like taught me some things to play. Like he wasn't like an official instructor.
Right.
He's like, you should play this. And he would do like something kind of like lively that would be interesting for me to play for if somebody else was around.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, like a pattern almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my relationship to drums, playing the drums, that I really haven't done it in any performative setting for real.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
It's a personal thing.
Yeah, my relationship to it is just like, impressing people, trying to impress somebody with like the things that I do play. If somebody was around.
Interesting. That's cool. I literally just do it for myself. Just because I love.
What I need to do is just like practice it every day.
Absolutely.
And develop my own style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love beats, really.
Yeah.
Which is
for
also.
sure. And it's just like you can play the drums in whatever way and it doesn't have to be complicated. Just as long as it's your own style, technically.
And you keep tempo.
As long as you're like consistent with that, and then people be like, "Oh, that's the way that he drums." Is probably the only important thing about it.
Yeah.
I like to do a simplistic style, where I just kind of like hit one thing at a time. Just like I'm not always hitting the hi-hat and the bass at the same time.
Yeah.
I just like to like one hit at a time, but like switch it up.
Yeah. Move around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Move around the set.
Drums.
I always like to.
What's your favorite drum? What's your favorite piece of the drum set?
Oh, I always like. Probably. I mean, it's probably the snare. I love the snare.
I think that mine is the hi-hat.
The hi-hat's fun, especially opening it up just a little bit, so you get that double.
Yeah,
clash.
it's got versatility like that.
I love the double clash sound. Where
I love hitting the open hi-hat.
Oh, it's the best. Like literally.
Yeah,
that,
I
like,
love working that in and like
Yeah.
being good at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like using the foot pedal on the hi-hat to like keep tempo instead of hitting it.
Oh yeah.
Just or whatever. But so there's a jazz club in Columbus called Ginger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Love it. And I literally go, I mean, like, the brass is great. They got these guys that play the bass. They're dope, you know, whatever. They got guys on cello, cool, whatever. Dude, these drummers that they bring in, though, are sick. I literally, I'm 90% of the time I'm there, I'm just listening to the drummers. They're dope.
the people that practice all the time.
Yeah, you can tell.
I'm just like jealous of that.
Yeah, and jazz drummers are fun, dude.
I know.
They're fun. They'll like point out at the audience.
Okay. Yeah.
This one guy that I was watching this the other time, when he would like really get into it, he would close his eyes and lift his neck like this, and wouldn't even look at the set. He would just close his eyes and he'd be like, just working his whole way around it. And I'm like, dude, I could kiss you, honestly.
For sure.
For
yeah.
sure.
The jazz drummer, feels like they figured everything out.
Yeah, and his lady was there.
Yeah.
She came up to him after the show. She was like, I'm so proud of him. I'm like, look at you go, bro.
Yeah,
Give her a little smooch in front of everybody. I'm like, in front of everybody?
Damn. It's just like keeps performing.
Yeah, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's his
life is a performance.
He probably knows like 300 different kisses that he can do too.
Like rudiments.
I know, yeah. This is the flam kiss. Where he hits one lip right before the other lip. It's like that's the flam kiss. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like a really nerdy looking guy too, but he was cool. If I ever see him
nerdy
again.
And cool.
Well, dude, nerds are cool in my opinion.
What is like a nerdy look?
So he had on a button up, and on top of it was like a salmon sweater, with the collar sticking out of the sweater.
Oh wow!
Just some
so he had the sweater over the button up.
Yeah, khaki pants.
Okay.
Some like Converse and glasses. Hair.
Converse. Would you say that Converse just on its own is nerdy?
No.
Okay.
It's just the outfit put together.
Just when he had it with khakis.
Plus
was nerdy.
Because I think that he should have just done the sweater by itself, but he added that collar as well.
Yeah, well, that's just like he's not even trying.
You're
to
doing
not
too
be
much,
a nerd.
brother. You're doing too much.
A salmon sweater over a button-up?
Come
That's
on.
just... Yeah. All right, well, here's what's next. I wanted to talk to you about relatability.
Relatability?
Yeah, because people on the internet will talk about that word all the time. They'll be like, this is the most relatable thing I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Especially, okay.
They'll be like, this is such a relatable clip, and it might be like something Joe Rogan said or whatever. And like, my question is, it's often they're just like, this is the most relatable thing ever, but it's talking about something that a famous person said. Or like somebody with a bunch of influence.
And they're multimillionaires. It's obviously not relatable.
I know.
Like
relatability is just like people who aren't on camera. It's like relatability is just like nothingness. But everybody on the internet is like bragging about some relatable thing that they found. They're like, this guy said something so relatable, but it's somebody famous.
Right.
I just think that that's an interesting topic. That people call that relatability. But relatability is just like eating cereal in the morning.
Yeah, but I don't eat cereal in the morning, so it's not.
Okay,
it's not relatable.
It's not relatable to you.
Yeah, it's not relatable to me. So I think my opinion on relatability is that, like, you and I are stand-up. Somebody use stand-up as the example. So like, I think that when it comes to stand-up, I think a lot of people like it when the person that they're watching, listening to, is relatable.
Yeah.
Because they're whoever they're sitting with or whatever person makes the joke, and they're like, "Oh, that's so you," or "Oh, that's my mom," or "Oh, that happened to me the other day." So I feel like stand up most of the time when you're writing jokes, you either have to try and be relatable, say something that people can relate to, or you got to go the complete opposite route and just say some shit that nobody's ever heard before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shock them like a taser.
Yep. I could see that.
So like, I have this joke about like back scratches. I think you might be familiar with it. I don't know, but
I don't know that I've heard it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell it on the pod. Come see a show. But
okay.
But it's like about like my mom scratched my back, my girlfriend scratched my back, whatever, and I make a comparison, and people really like it because it's relatable.
Yeah.
But then I also have this other joke about how this one girl that I was dating, when I went over to her house, there was a cat fetus on her bedside table. Like
Yeah,
in a
okay,
jar.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that is not relatable. Nobody's ever heard that before, ever.
Yeah.
You know, nobody can ever relate to that. Well, actually, I had a conversation with Destin Richardson one time where it wasn't completely relatable because mine was a cat fetus in a jar, but this girl that he was dating had a dead cat in her house, which is still very weird. So, but he could relate to it a little bit. But for the most part, when I tell that joke, besides Destin Richardson, nobody's ever related to that joke before, ever. And it's just a crazy, wild thing. So, and I feel like that's the majority.
Those are fun when it's like you have an example of something that happened to you that's so out of the ordinary.
Exactly.
It's like you bring that up on stage.
And you're like, I'm about to tell you some crazy shit.
Yeah. Because it's like people are always talking about relatability like it's the greatest value. It's like, oh, this person made the effort to be relatable.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And like that's why we praise them and give them a bunch of likes or whatever. But it's like what is the place of the extraordinary?
Yeah.
It's like something exceptional like that.
Right.
Because that, I feel like at some level that's relatable.
It is. The other parts of the story are relatable up until that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the joke likable.
Because you encounter, like, everybody's encountered people or just like a circumstance with a person that's just like totally crazy.
Yeah.
And that's a relatable thing.
Yeah.
Like a speciality.
And especially so, like, the way I set up the joke is where I say, like, the girl invited me back to her place and she was like, I want to show you my kitty. Which is like, it's a lot of relatability there. It's either like, oh, she's going to show me her,
Yeah.
you know,
For sure.
she's going to show me that sweet flower, or she's going to show me a cat.
Yep. Or she's just kind of like doing both, like playing both sides of it.
And both would be perfectly fine. But
Right.
I was never expecting a cat fetus.
Yeah, that's
know?
like hilarious.
Yeah.
Like that's like delirium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that specifically with stand-up, it's good to have a balance between relatability and the extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my opinion. But take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that that's what your opinion is on it.
Yeah, but then like in terms
I
of
mean, it's like that's just really funny that that happened.
oh dude, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
It was
Sounds like it.
It was such a bizarre thing. And like in the story that I tell on stage, I talk about how I just kind of like ignored it and just kept pushing forward. And that's really what I did in the moment. Because I really liked this girl. But like in any other situation, if it was a girl that I was like not so certain about, I would have just been like, I'll see you later. Like I'm not sticking around. But I was like, you know what? I'm willing to overlook that. I'll overlook that.
Yeah. So that's like it's like a red flag.
Pink flag.
Yeah. Why would you call it pink flag?
You're right. It's a red flag. It is a red flag.
It's just like
She has
an
an
interesting red flag. It's like not quite like you wouldn't say like red flag.
So it's a pink
because
flag.
It's so weird.
Yeah, so it is a pink flag because it's not necessarily like a deal breaker, but it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird that you have a cat fetus, like especially on your bedside table.
Right. That probably shouldn't be happening. And like if there's people coming over or there's somebody might come over, you're like I've got to get that out of here.
Yeah, or give a
Because
heads
that's
up.
like yeah.
Give a heads up.
So she's like proud of it or something.
After she was, she loved
This
it.
is my cat fetus. Huh. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I would think that there's probably maybe she doesn't have stuff interesting so much about her that she's like, I gotta identify with this cat fetus for people that come over.
And you know what? You could argue that about this.
I
girl.
could argue that.
And I'm saying anybody could about that has met her. She was a very nice lady, very sweet girl, but
She didn't have an identity outside of the cat fetus.
she did, but I don't know. I never really felt like
Identity.
I never really got to know her that well.
Okay.
And we dated for like a month. Maybe she had walls up or something. Who knows? You put walls up?
Sure. Yeah, I put
think
balls
you
up.
did,
Yeah.
I definitely do.
What is like a personality? I guess is a question that I have. I sort of get it. Like people will criticize me sometimes for like you don't have a personality.
I think you have a personality.
Okay.
Maybe when I first met you, I was like, I don't know what, because you. I mean, are you aware of how you sound? How you come across?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like when I first met you, I was like, I've never met a guy like that.
It's
before.
sort of funnier to like not be aware of it, or it's like that's funny to some people to be dumb.
To lack the wherewithal.
Yeah, but like I think ultimately I know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so like when I first met you, I was like, I have no grasp of him whatsoever. I don't know what that dude is like. What?
Okay.
But
so
then
that's maybe
like,
why people say he doesn't have a personality.
right, but you and I have known each other for a while now, and over that time, I had 100% think you have a personality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a very specific one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear because most of the time, people are just like, you don't have a personality.
No, they're.
It's funny that it's like most of the time you just hear the criticized thing, right? I feel like that is the case. You don't hear the encouraging thing.
Honestly, those people are probably projecting.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like they probably don't have personalities.
Yeah, that might be it.
Do you remember who's told you that in the past?
Here's my list of names. I kept a list.
It's like a receipt.
It's just one of those general things that I hear back. Same as like I generally hear back, you're a serial killer, whatever.
Okay, well you definitely give those vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm agree with him on that. I don't think you are one.
All right, but you don't know.
I don't think you are. I don't know. Well,
yeah.
And
that's a joke that I've been trying to do on stage. It's
work
just
it out.
like
Work it out.
The joke of like, well, it's not like if I say I'm not a serial killer, that doesn't mean I'm not,
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
is
just
that your angle in the joke?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's great.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
I just want to do more of that. Be like,
I have a serial killer joke too. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, so because it's never dudes that call me serial killers, but women that I date. I don't know if it's because of my tendencies or the way I behave or whatever, but like literally the last like 6 women in a row that I've dated, the last 6 in a row have been like I'm dating this black girl right now, and she's like, she always says like, you know what? It's giving serial killer. I was just with her earlier, and she said that to me earlier. So I was called serial killer an hour ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I relate to you.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I'm talking normally to like one of my bros or whatever, when we're talking, well, especially when we're talking, I think that your serial killer vibes definitely overshadow.
Okay, yeah. You don't have to worry about being a serial killer.
Right, when I'm next to you, people are like, it's obviously.
Yeah. That's one of the services that I provide.
They're like, well, if I'm going to compare the two, it's not him.
I know. I show up and everybody's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that I'm a serial killer anymore. Because that guy's here.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, that's one of the things, it's just like being in public or whatever, some of it is just like I'm taking the blame for something like that.
Yeah, but
where it's like everybody will hate you for a thing. That's like a lot of it, and people I feel like just emphasize the loving aspect of it too much, or like they're ignoring that. A lot of like being a stand-up comedian, a lot of it is just like people think you suck or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's more important to me. That people think it sucks or whatever.
Or doesn't suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want it to suck or anything.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I do stand-up, I just picture like, oh, they don't, like this audience doesn't want me to do well.
Interesting.
It's just because that's the way that I am.
No, I know,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of comics that are like that. So that's interesting. That's like a common theme among comics.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe it's more just at open mics.
Oh,
I feel like
that's because
the audience is just here to see something shitty happen, or
and also for the most part in Columbus, the open mics are just other comics.
Yeah,
and other comics love watching comics bomb.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
It's some of the funniest shit to me. Especially
it is more memorable and usually more memorable and interesting when somebody bombs like authentically, where you're like they were trying.
That's what I was just gonna say is like when they're really trying to work something out, and it's just a hard bomb. That shit kills me. That shit, I will laugh so hard at that, man. So hard at that. I was watching Rosebud Baker's special earlier today. Extremely well written. Topics were great. Very relatable content. Relatable. She's talking about being a new mother and stuff. Her writing is fantastic. But I didn't laugh out loud at a single thing that she said. Just because I work at a comedy club, I do stand up, I'm around comedy all the time. It's like, if I'm gonna laugh out loud at someone's joke, it's gotta be some hot fire. With that being said, the opposite side of the spectrum, someone bombing super hard, that's less common with like the environments that I'm in. So when someone bombs super hard, that shit is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like not everybody can do it. Because most of the people that bomb, they're just kind of like, you still find like something to admire about it. Or like the crowd is still like, oh, haha, they're being funny.
Yeah, like a slight chuckle maybe. Oh, I see what he's doing there, but sometimes...
Most people that bomb, like the audience is still like okay with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of different if you're like able to go up and just like make the room silent.
Right. Yes. Like when a comedian goes up and they think they think they got some hot fire and then it's just a complete miss. That's my shit.
I know, yeah.
That shit is
great.
So funny to me.
Yeah.
Even when it happens to me, when I'm like I'll be writing during the day and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go out at night. This is gonna fucking kill. And then I go up and do it. I do my best delivery. I'm like, I just killed that shit. And then everybody's just looking at me like, so you thought that was funny?
I know, it's bizarre when that happens. But it's like, I'm thinking of something that sounds so funny to me and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna say, especially, it's like the first time I write it or think of it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna say that tonight.
And you think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never take
it. Just like, yeah, they don't care. It's weird.
And that's the thing is like, I never take anything to stage that I think is mediocre. I only ever do stuff that I think is hilarious.
I know. I put all the shit that I don't like on the back burner.
Absolutely.
Yep. I'm always like, this is the funniest stuff that I can say tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when it misses, I'm just like, damn. I really thought I had that one.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's weird how it's like, as an audience member, you can see how the comics are, if they're not received well, like you understand why they're not. Mm-hmm. But then like when you go up and do it, it doesn't exactly make sense why I wouldn't be received well. But like I can see why someone else wouldn't be.
So to me, it's normally when, do you record all your sets?
No.
So I record all mine audio, and when I listen back, that's normally when I'm like, oh, I understand why it didn't land. I didn't communicate it properly. My delivery was off. Or sometimes people
just like the timing,
right? Or
sometimes the audience just sucks.
I was gonna say sometimes people just are not paying attention.
Right.
Yeah.
They just like not a really laughing crowd.
Yeah, and if it's
because like if I went to see stand up, there really isn't a lot that I laugh at. Like seeing other people, myself, I'm not like everybody's seen so much shit that is funny because of the internet. That it's like the standard for making somebody laugh is technically like pretty high, I think.
Especially for stand-ups, because stand-ups probably most of their algorithms are full of other stand-ups. Then like
but it's like if I get high or something, then I might like watch something and be like, oh, like laugh at it a lot.
Open-minded to it.
Yeah, I can get why people do laugh a lot, but most of the time my mindset is like, people don't laugh. Like, why would they laugh? You know?
Drinking also helps.
Yeah, but like I do end up getting why they laugh because I get into the right mindset. Like if I drink enough or
get a little
smoke enough,
then
I'm like, will laugh at things that are funny, just like not care about that it's funny and that I'm laughing about it. I mean, there's like some sort of peer pressure thing.
I was gonna say, that's interesting.
There's like a peer pressure thing that happens a lot of the comedy events where like the audience is like
Should I laugh at that?
Yeah, because everybody is
Is it okay for me to laugh at that?
influenced. Right.
Yeah.
At least a little bit, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, especially when it's like racy topics.
Absolutely.
Where people are like...
Or gender topics or things like that.
Yeah, an audience member goes to a room full of strangers and they're just like, I don't want to bust out laughing.
These people are going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people care about what other people think about them.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. They do. I care sometimes.
I don't. I only care about there's specific people in my life that I care about, how they think
Right.
about me. Besides them, outside of them, I don't give a fuck. If I don't know you, I don't give a fuck.
Yep. I think that I don't care ultimately, but there's a lot that I might do about like pretending to care or something. It's just like, oh, I'm supposed to care. So
Right.
I should, like, I don't know.
Right.
It's important to not be lame and just like be a badass and just like, I don't care, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's badass. It's just like...
I feel like it's hard to, because it's like you have to appeal to the audience, so.
But it's like, why should I care? I don't know you people.
I think like ultimately I don't care because it's like,
After tonight, I'll never see you again.
Yeah, and who knows that, right.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just gonna die anyway.
Yeah, there's that too. But also,
Yeah.
I guess it also depends on the topics you're discussing. Like me, I never really go. I occasionally dip my toe into gender stuff, like stuff about women. You know, women be like, but like this,
Women be like.
but I'm
Guys, what's the deal with women?
yeah, dude. But and I occasionally dip my toe in that, but I like never do race stuff. So for me, it's really like
I do a little bit.
Oh, I know. But like,
What race joke did I do that you remember?
I cannot remember, but it was at
Oh, okay.
Savor Pine, which was a while ago.
Okay, yeah.
Savor Pine was a while ago. Those were the good old days, Savor Pine.
I like the Savor Pine.
Loved it. That's
Yeah.
back when I used to actually go out into the Columbus comedy scene.
Yeah. Before like doing all the open mics, and
Yeah.
now like I've done them all
And then you're
so
like-
many times.
And then you're like, oh, that's what they have to offer.
The Savor, I mean, I'd go to the Savor Pine if they still had it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with Murph hosting.
Yeah.
I loved Murph hosting Savor Pine.
Yeah, Murph is great.
He's great.
Yeah. He's one of the best in Columbus.
Absolutely.
One of the funniest.
Especially for...
I think he's one of the funniest people, really, in
Yes.
Columbus. Yeah.
Especially for how new he is. So, like, in that group of people... So, Murph and I have been doing stand-up... How long have you been doing stand-up?
3 years.
So, yeah, you're in the same class as Murph and I.
Okay.
We're all in the same class. But Murph is funnier than us.
He's a funny guy.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
When I first met Murph, I thought that he was much further into comedy because of just how naturally funny he is, his perspective on things, his delivery, calm, cool, collected.
Yep.
Then I got to talking to him, and I'm like, technically, I've been doing stand-up a little bit longer than him, and that was crazy to me. Crazy. I was like, how are you so good? But also, there's like the age thing. Murph's like in his 40s. He's got a ton of life experience.
The age thing.
Yeah,
Something you gotta watch out for.
it is, especially with dating.
Yeah, I wonder how much I'm supposed to care about it. I think that it's like America is pretty ageist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They really discriminate by like, oh well, you're 32 now, so it's like you really shouldn't be doing these kinds of things.
And you should have these things accomplished.
You should be prioritizing this and thinking about this because because you don't want 40 to hit and then you're whatever, you know.
Yeah.
America is really appearances like
Yeah.
that, and they're like, as a result.
Yeah, for sure.
The ageism, I think it drives a lot of things that people don't think about. But it's like, that's an acceptable ism to have.
In America.
Yeah, where people are like, well, of course we're going to discriminate by age, you know. We're going to not like when you're 30. America likes somebody who's 20 more than they're 30. right?
And they like someone in their 30s more than their 40s, 40s more than their 50s, and so on.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Frank DeMint, then you're timeless.
Timeless.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I agree. Timeless.
Like, I think Frank DeMint is interesting because Columbus really likes him, even though he's, like, older.
And he's wild.
Columbus is maybe a city that doesn't care about age so much, though. Because Frank DeMint can come in, and we're like, yeah, that's fine. You know, we don't really care that he's older.
And he just says wild shit.
Yeah, he used to be a little bit more wild.
I remember. He's toned it down a little bit.
He cut some of the Bible material.
Yeah.
And then became more likable, but
He also used to bring his dog to open mics. Remember that?
no, I don't.
He had this little dog that he would bring it to juniors every Monday. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, maybe saw it once or twice.
Yeah, back when juniors was still happening. Shit, I had something I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, have you ever dated an older woman?
No.
I mean, I don't.
I might like it.
Probably would. It's great.
Probably, yeah.
I've never dated a woman that's like much older than me, but for the most part, women that I date are like 3 to 4 years older than me. That's my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the record, I am not ageist.
So will you date someone who's like 10 years older than you?
Okay, I'm ageist.
Okay.
You got me. I switched up real quick. Now,
because you're like, I don't want a girl that's like 34. I mean, you could do better than that.
I would date a girl. I think the highest I would date would be, like, there's this one girl at my church that I asked out who was 31, but she thought I was older. She thought I was like 26, 27.
Okay.
But that's the oldest I would go is like 31.
Yeah.
Because I'm 23 for reference. Fine. 23. So that's like 8 years older.
A girl at a church who's 31 is probably fine.
And she's very youthful. Very youthful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like she was, because I thought she was younger. She thought I was older. I thought she was younger.
Uh-huh.
You know, that type of thing. But
yeah, it probably is, a girl at a church who's 31 might, like, it doesn't, she's probably just, like, waiting around for something. Like, she might be cool anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. And she totally was waiting for something to happen. But she turned me down.
Why?
Because she said she already had something going on. But I found out that she didn't. She just turned me down.
Was she just, like, with Jesus?
Probably.
Yeah, was that it?
You know what? Probably. Knowing her, probably.
Like, if you're 31, single girl in a church, then that might be the case.
And a young, handsome man comes up to you, asks you out, and you say no.
You're like, you're not as good as Jesus. Yeah.
Which I'm not.
Yeah, well, you gotta keep getting better. You gotta be more like that guy.
Absolutely.
He's pretty cool.
He's great.
He's like really cool. I think
he's really great. I think he's
spectacular.
I think if you met him, you'd be like, this guy's great.
It's phenomenal. He's a phenomenon.
I couldn't agree more, Matt. Don't get me into the religious stuff because I will go in on it.
Yeah, you go to church?
Yep.
What kind of church?
I go to a Baptist church.
Okay.
In downtown Columbus. I was baptized Catholic, raised Lutheran, and now I attend a Baptist church.
Sick.
And I'm thinking about checking out the Eastern Orthodox.
Is it a big church?
Yeah, it's bigger than, well, it's not like a mega church, but it's bigger.
I would have pictured that you had gone to a mega church or like a big church. I remember you saying one time to me that you were a Christian.
Yeah. But
I would have thought Josh probably goes to like a big like Rock City or something.
No.
Okay. You go to a Baptist church.
Yeah, we get like 300 people every Sunday.
Do you take your faith sort of seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I stay in the Bible, stay in prayer.
Do you believe you're going to heaven?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good that you're going to heaven.
I like to think so.
It's better than hell. Hell sucks.
Yeah. I would,
Man, I don't want to go to hell.
Yeah, but some people...
Hell blows. I think that it's like hell is... I believe that it's mostly something that you can put yourself in on Earth, like in this reality. I think that that's what hell is, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than that I think it's like a physical place you would go to for eternity.
Yeah, nobody really knows. Hell's not really talked about much in the good book.
Not enough people have seen it, and like some people be like, "I went to hell," and when they like died for 2 minutes.
Right. I've heard those testimonies.
Yeah. Do you put any stock in that? Those people on YouTube that are like, "I saw hell, and it was hell."
Dude, it was hell.
Yeah, it was hell.
Who really knows, man? Nobody knows. Even those heaven testimonies. I'm like, you weren't dead though. Like your brain was still alive. You still had a subtle heartbeat. You weren't dead. You could have just been having some type of crazy dream experience or something. Or maybe those people literally experienced hell for 2 minutes.
It's possible.
And the devil was like, "Come to daddy," and they're like, "No," and then just
we want more.
And then they get sucked back into their soul.
The devil ultimately didn't have power over them, and so they're like, "Fuck this, dude. The devil, fuck you." And they're like, "I'm going back to Earth, bitch."
That's badass.
Yeah, when you tell the devil off, "Fuck you," and then you're like, "No, I'm not in hell."
Yeah.
What do you think was?
Now imagine
happen?
if you were one of those people that had one of those experiences, and it actually was a real hell experience,
and it was really hell.
Yeah, and then you didn't.
Imagine if you defeated hell.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, I was destined to go there,"
like
but
Doom, like Doom, the video game.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
Like I got out of it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Now I'm just
show up with a shotgun.
making. Now they're just like baking something or whatever and putting it on Instagram or whatever. They're like being a YouTuber.
Making bread tutorials. This is my sourdough.
Yeah, after you defeat
like
hell,
it's like one video is a hell testimony. It's like, I died and went to hell, and then the next one's like, here's my sourdough tutorial. They
moved on pretty quickly.
That's great. You gotta get back to normal life eventually.
Defeated hell. Yeah.
What's on your resume? I defeated hell.
Yeah, I died, went to hell, and then I came back. It was like, it turned out it wasn't for me. They tried to get me, but it's like,
no,
it's fucking they couldn't hang.
They couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't hang. I was too cool for them.
Yeah,
way too cool. I should have.
They're like, I'm not even going to heaven. Like, I'm just like not going to hell.
Yeah, it was like, I'll be back later.
I can visit them whenever I want.
Yeah,
they're like,
I'm just not ready yet, but I'll be back for you guys later. Yeah.
Yeah, they're losers down there.
Yeah, you guys need to get your shit together down here.
Yeah.
Make it ready for when I come back. Otherwise, I'm gonna defeat you guys.
Yeah, like you better have some good guacamole.
I need some good R&B. Yeah.
I bet that they do have good music in hell. That's what I hear is like hell is the spawn of all of the like good music.
It's gotta be, right?
In comparison to like Christian contemporary music,
garbage,
which is just like the fakeness of music. It's like the false music. Garbage. Yeah, it's amazing to look at that example of that kind of music.
And honestly, some of that stuff is just heretical. But I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get into it right now.
Yeah, that's too charged.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to. Not with this sport, but some of that shit is heretical. Okay?
I've never had that thought that is contemporary Christian is heretical.
Mm-hmm, it is.
Like Lecrae or whatever.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? Toby Mac.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's definitely a heretic of some kind. I don't know what you would say. Do you know
at least
Toby Mac is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, at least some of the songs,
Like I don't like it. Well, it's offensive to me.
I find it very offensive.
It's controversial, and I'm turned off by it. His example in life and what he's putting out there, I'm like, it's too hard for me to take. I have like Toby Mac derangement syndrome. It's like I'll never like Toby Mac. Like I'll think, I'm like I'm only a hater. Like I'm only a fan.
Like you walk into a party, they're playing Toby Mac, I'm turning around.
I don't like. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I'm like honestly, I'm not even friends with you guys anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd you invite me?
I know.
Yeah.
So
If I walked in here and you were playing Toby Mac, I'd be like, hey man, we can do this another time.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you played Toby Mac, but
Yeah.
like I gotta go. I got better things to do, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
You're playing Toby Mac. That's not something I'm doing. You know.
Never. I'm never doing that.
Yeah, that's not.
All right. Do you have anything else? You got any other?
That's
questions?
it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't want to stay on the same topics for too long. Oh,
this is
dude.
freeform.
We're already like almost. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're at the 54-minute mark if we don't edit anything out.
We can definitely keep going.
And I don't think that we really have to edit anything out because we didn't say anything like really
problematic. Besides that, Toby Mac's heretical.
Right, that might grind too many gears. That might get some people like
get a message from his.
The internet might get back to us on that. Where they're like, "Hey, dude, don't say that Toby Mac is a no-go." Because he's my rock.
Yeah. He's my rock, which is heretical.
And he does rock too, I think, as far as I know. Or does he? No, he raps, right?
Yeah. He's a white boy
but
rapper.
He rocks.
Yeah, it's like it's like rock rap.
I think that rap kind of is like it rocks anyway, because it kind of replaced rock.
It's way better, in my opinion.
Yeah, like
but that is a hot statement. So many people would disagree. My dad, first of all, he would disagree.
Rap
with that.
is better.
Yeah,
hip hop is better.
Absolutely.
Trap is better.
I love trap.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite trapper?
Wow.
I got top 2 in my head right now.
Pierre Bourne.
Who is that?
Pierre Bourne is my favorite trapper. He's a
like Pure.
It's kind of more like pop than it is trap, but I think that it is still trap.
Oh, yeah, I know this guy. Yeah.
Pierre Bourne I like a lot because he will do a lot of melodies. Like he'll do a lot of melodies over each other while rapping over it, which most people don't do.
Yeah.
Most people are just concerned with they'll put in like one melody, if that. They'll put in like one melody in chords.
He's got a nice flow.
Over the melody that he's saying, like, and he might do rap. He might be rapping. Most of the time, he's singing.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's melodic rap.
Yep.
For him, but
yeah, I grew up on Lil Uzi. Love Lil Uzi.
Okay.
He's kind of been, recently he's been hit or miss, but I still rock with Lil Uzi. And then there's this newer guy, Kyle Rich. Fucking love Kyle Rich.
I haven't heard of him.
Look him up. You don't have to do it right now.
Kyle Rich.
Yeah.
Right.
Rich with 2 H's.
Is that his stage name?
Mm-hmm.
I guess his last name wouldn't like.
I don't think his last name
H's.
is Rich, but I think his name is Kyle something.
So he's kind of like Roddy Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kyle Rich. All right.
And he has like a trio.
Is he more of a rapper or a singer? Like
rapper.
Okay.
No, he does no melody.
I prefer melodic rap.
I like melodic rap.
That's why I like Pierre Bourne.
Yeah, I mean, I like melodic rap. I'm trying to think. Like there's this guy D'Angelo from the early 2000s. He's much more of an R&B guy, but he does melodic rap too. Masego, I don't know if you know Masego. He does melodic rap.
No.
Yeah, I feel like rap has really widened. There's like a lot of like subgenres of rap, and I
know.
I fuck with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck with most of them that I hear.
Yeah.
I feel like music is better now than it's ever been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's way more accessible.
Yeah, and because of what you said, there's a lot of different sub-genres of rap. Like, everybody... Yep. There's a lot of shit that's available, and, like, everybody's doing all kinds of different stuff. And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so much more accessible to the people. Like, back in the day, it was just like you'd have to get with, like, a record company, and then whatever they're putting out, that's what the people were able to listen to. But you can just independently post stuff now.
Yeah.
And get millions of listeners.
Yeah. And you can make a lot of that shit just on your computer.
Exactly.
That's
in a little at-home studio.
And it's not only that, like, that's almost the cutting-edge music of today. Like, that's the edgy music. And it started with...
Some of the best music of today, too.
Yeah, it started with, like, when we called mumble rap SoundCloud rap. Where it's like, anybody can upload some shit to SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm. But then some of those guys...
kept mumbling.
And they level up.
Yeah. I think it's good for XXX Tentacion that he died, probably.
I think it's good that he died.
I mean, for his, like, celebrity, I feel like...
He's infamous now.
Yeah, because he's one of the top just artists of all time and all of time, like with the Beatles and whatever. He's like one of the top selling and like heard artists. I don't think that that would have happened for him unless he died.
Interesting. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but it's like some people that die, they die at the right time where it's like they didn't have anything else to say.
See,
like
Mac Miller died at the wrong time.
I think he died at the right time.
I disagree.
You think that he had more? I think that someone like Mac Miller, like, he didn't have too much left in the tank, ultimately.
I think he could have made so much more music.
Okay.
Because a lot of his albums that he was putting out, they got a similar flow to them, similar melodies.
Yeah.
I think if he was given the opportunity to have matured, I think his music would have matured too. I think it would have had...
You might be right.
Kind of like Post Malone.
You might be right about that.
You know?
Yeah, as long as Mac Miller was willing to change with the times.
Yeah, I think he would.
If he was willing to go the route of Post Malone and be like, I'm not a white guy pretending to be black. If he was willing to be like, I'm a white guy, the same as Post Malone did.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, that's why he died when he did.
So I kind of agree with what you just said about Post Malone. But I don't agree about Mac Miller. I don't think he was ever trying to be a white guy trying to be black.
Well,
I think he was a white rapper through and through. I
just feel like the culture would have held him to like, all right, you can't talk like that anymore.
I disagree. I honestly think it would have been more accepting because that's just what he grew up in.
In Pittsburgh.
I think that people these days are less looking at appearances and more so looking at what was your environment. Why do you sound the way you sound? Why do you act the way you sound? Because of...
If people don't know his backstory, they would have been like, you don't get to talk black. Or whatever.
True. But then
like, you're white.
But if you learn his backstory...
A lot of people are just like, well, you appear white and now you're talking black, so we're not
That's
really...
Wrong. It's wrong.
I mean, for Post Malone, I feel like he had to make an adjustment and because of that, a little bit.
Yeah, but also Post Malone's way more melodic, though.
I mean, Post Malone might just be actually a white boy, more so. Possibly. Maybe Mac Miller was more black in real life.
Probably. Because Post Malone's also a southern boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas has got to be probably the most country state in real life.
Yeah. I lived there for a couple of years. It absolutely is.
Yeah, maybe Tennessee is number one.
No, it's Texas.
Okay, yeah.
Texas, the people down in Texas would love to secede from the Union.
I believe
and have their own country.
They still
we don't
want...
fuck with the rest of y'all at all.
And they're really proud.
Love to be a Texan.
Really identify with Texas. Mm-hmm. Really, like, it's all about Texas.
And they got a ton of military bases down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, they have, like, military bases everywhere.
But they got a ton in Texas. We also have there's a cat out there. Is that your cat? Or, like,
It's my roommate's cat. His name is Leo.
Oh, he's big. Is he a Maine Coon?
Yes. It's one of those you could describe as a Maine Coon, but I found out recently that a Maine Coon is like this actual animal. Did you know that?
Yeah, so he's like a crossbreed.
A Maine Coon is this actual big cat that's like maybe a little smaller than a bobcat.
Yeah, they're like 25 pounds.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just heard people call a big like house cat like that a Maine Coon.
Well, it's his face that gave it away. They have like their faces are like pointed, so the ears point out, and then they have hair that grows around their chin that points out as well.
Yep, I like cats like that. That big like Maine Coon looking cat.
Big old thick cat. Love a thick cat.
Yeah, my family growing up, we had a cat like that named Rory. It was probably my favorite cat.
That's great.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I've got a chunky cat at home. Got two cats. One of them's real lean and skinny, and the other's just a chunker. You better believe I like that chunker better than the skinny one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. There's two cats here. One of them is skinny and one of them is fat. I like the fatter
you
cat.
like the chunker.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, the skinny cat's a piece of shit. I think he's.
I believe it.
Yeah, I hate him honestly.
He's like all superior because he's got like a better body.
I guess. Honestly, anybody
He's holding
watching,
that over everyone.
Anybody watching, if you want a skinny cat, hit me up. You can take him. I don't even want him. Hit me up.
Skinny cats, who needs them?
Not me. Josh O'Comedy at Instagram.
Get rid of skinnycats.com.
I will give you him.
Yeah.
For free with a litter box and a food bowl.
It's a charity we're starting. Get rid of skinny cats.
Just my skinny cat.
We could donate them to Africa or something, since we don't want them here.
Preferably not Africa.
Yeah.
Because I would have to pay a shipping cost on that. Preferably just somebody in Columbus that could drive.
I wonder if anyone in Africa has house cats. I guess they do.
I feel like Africa's too.
Maybe in Egypt. Because they like cats up there or whatever.
Yeah, there's probably so many cats. But I feel like
That place probably just run over with cats. I don't even know if they have people in Egypt. They just got a bunch of cats.
I think the further south you go, though, in Africa, there's probably way more massive outdoor cats than indoor cats.
Yeah,
like
lions.
That'll just eat you.
I know. I was talking to Alex Nyama Honga. He was. I asked him about lions. Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. Yeah. I asked him about lions. I'm like, is that a issue? Was that an issue? You know. But I think that he was in Nairobi.
He was in an actual city.
He was in Nairobi. He said,
which is a huge city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said I was in a part of it that was like Westerville to downtown is like how far I was from the city center.
Yeah.
And then I said the metro area, and I feel bad in retrospect because like the metro area could be anything. Like he was actually close to the city center.
Yeah. Well, Westerville's definitely metro. I think you were right. You shouldn't feel bad. I think you were exactly correct in how you described that.
It's like Westerville is maybe 15. I mean, it's the metro area, but it's maybe like 15 minutes from the
different
city center.
Different cities have different metros. So, like Detroit, where I grew up, the Detroit metro extended 45 minutes outside the city, all sides of the city.
Yeah.
It was a massive metro. But then Columbus, the Columbus metro only goes about 20 minutes outside the city. Hilliard, Dublin. Is Delaware still considered Columbus? I don't even... Yeah, I think it is.
I bet that they don't put it in the metro area.
If it is, that's the very extent would be Delaware.
Yeah. Delaware is doing pretty well as a city.
Dude, I love Delaware.
Yeah. Why do you love it?
I think that I think it's a cool spot. It's like a small city in itself.
Yep.
Have you ever just walked around Delaware?
I've delivered packages there.
Oh yeah,
of
course. Yeah.
But it's like it seems like a thriving city.
Thriving.
Yeah.
People are always walking around. Ton of restaurants, ton of little shops.
Yeah.
People
for sure.
I've done a couple
Their
of shows.
downtown is like alive.
It's nice, clean.
Yeah.
And there's a lively, well lit. There's I've done a couple of shows in Delaware, and the people are just so cool too. They're like fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like people that like entertainment. It's probably because of what we do. But like,
yeah.
I feel like in Columbus, like in the heart of the city, people don't really care about entertainment. But in Delaware, dude, they're like starving for entertainment. They're just fun people out there. They shoot guns. They have campfires. They ride 4-wheelers. That's my shit. That's kind of like the area like where I grew up in Michigan. So like, the metro side of Detroit that I lived in is equivalent to Delaware. That's like the type of area that I grew up in. Would be like, yeah, that's my shit.
You're like far enough outside Detroit.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
It's like there's still like towns. But it was like slightly rural as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Delaware. So like if you go outside Delaware, it's very rural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's all. I mean, that's like the same with Columbus. It's like.
Yeah, just in general.
Near around like the metro area is just kind of like surrounded by corn.
Once you go outside Hilliard, it's London, and it's like, oh, forget that.
London, I don't know what the hell,
dude,
that's about. Plain City, especially. I don't know what the hell that's about. Because it's like it seems like it's everywhere. Because you can go down 70 and there's like Plain City that way, but you can go up towards Marysville and Plain City is out there too.
They're all the same. And then London is just like...
is Columbus just surrounded by Plain City?
Yeah, just a bunch of different Plain Cities, but with different names.
Right, and it's called Plain City.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, and you go out east, and it's like, before you hit Lancaster, it's all the same shit.
I know.
All right, but let's blow through these questions, though. I want to get through everything before I leave here.
Yeah. But, like, Marion, I deliver packages up there. Have you been to Marion?
Just through it. I've never actually spent any time there.
It's interesting the difference between Delaware and Marion, just because Marion is, like, a half hour farther away from Columbus. So they're, like, not...
Oh, dude, Marion's not even comparable to Delaware.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Delaware is, like, I would...
But they both have a president from their cities.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They, like, Delaware had,
Is it Cleveland?
Hayes.
Hayes.
Rutherford B. Hayes. And Marion had Harding. But Harding is a more recent president. Mm-hmm. So Marion can't stop talking about him. Like, he was from the 20s.
Okay, but who gives a fuck?
I know, but they're, like, making too much about it. And they're...
It's because that's all they got going on out there.
Yeah. But Delaware doesn't give a shit about Hayes.
Yeah, because they got stuff
they
going
have
on.
Downtown.
Yeah, they're lively.
Yeah, and Marion is like, they're all just like living in the shadow of Harding, and they can't get out of it. I feel like, and their high school is like the Harding High School, and their mascot are the presidents.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you go to people's houses, and some of them will have a sign that says, "A Harding president lives here." And when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, are they like claiming lineage to Harding?
That's funny.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, is there some disputed, like, or you're, like, angry?
Like it's royalty?
Yeah.
All right, let's.
All right.
How many do you have left?
Well, we can get through them. We're already at the time. It's time. But, I mean, I'll do the questions anyway.
We'll do one answer for each question.
I had it open, and where the hell did it go? I might have closed it. Who are your favorite comedians?
Tom Segura, Adam Ray, Joe List.
Wow, okay. What do you like about Joe List?
So, Adam Ray and Tom Segura is much more of like a storyteller, and that is way more of what I am, as a storyteller.
Okay.
And I think that when I was growing up, I watched a ton of Tom Segura, so I think that he really influenced my stylings. Adam Ray is just like a real silly guy. He's really animated. He does a lot of impressions, and he tells a lot of stories as well. So that's why I like him. Extremely charismatic, nice guy. Mm-hmm. I went and saw him live at Hilarities in Cleveland last year, and dude, it was so good, man. It was so good. It was one of the, no joke, because like he's just now getting known because of all the Dr. Phil stuff. It was no joke one of the best shows I've ever been to. And I worked.
So you saw him as Adam Ray before he was Dr. Phil?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
And he's got a bunch of different characters.
Dude, he literally stripped the wall top to bottom. Like, he had the whole place erupting with laughter. And he had two great openers, too. This guy named Elijah Nevels, who's a younger guy out in Cleveland. He's like 20. He's crushing it right now. That dude's hilarious. He did great opening it up. I can't remember the feature's name, but he crushed, too. And I was like, man, I think Adam's going to have a little bit of a hard time following these guys. No sweat. He went out there and just crushed, dude. So I love Adam. And then, Joe List, on the other hand, Joe is much more of like a New York comic through and through. Mm-hmm. Very writing-oriented, structured, jokey. A lot more jokey. And I think that he's one of my favorites because I I have an appreciation for joke writers. I'm just not that. But I really enjoy his style, what he does. He's really awkward and unapologetic about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, he has a lot of jokes that are like, it's like directly from his life, and it's just like, it's like a relatable thing.
Very relatable, yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the, I don't want to say it because I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, he's talking about him and his wife trying new things in the bedroom, spicing things up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, all right, let's write on these cards like what we want to do, and will share it with each other. And so then she wrote it on a card and she shared it with me, and it was like, we should like make love as if like someone's listening, so like as quiet as possible. We should be as quiet as possible and try like act like someone's in the room next door listening. And Joe's like, we live in New York City, there's 17 people around us listening at all times. And he's like, okay, well, forget about it. I can't even show you my list because at the very top of it was an entire basketball team roster. I butchered it, but dude, when I first heard that joke, I wish I delivered it correctly, because when he said the basketball team roster, I lost my mind, dude. I laughed so hard. I've seen all of them live too, so that's an added bonus, is when you get to see them live, because like you see people's specials and you're like, they're funny, but seeing them live, it's different.
Seeing it live,
it's the real
would
thing.
be different. I haven't seen too many people live. I don't end up going out of my way to do that. My top 3 comedians are probably Tim Heidecker, Louis C.K.
Great.
And I don't know, maybe like Chris D'Elia.
Chris D'Elia used to be Chris D'Elia used to be in my top 3. He used to be. And ever since all that stuff happened.
Yeah. People are like, ugh.
Well, it's not even that. I honestly, I don't want to get into it, but I stayed a fan of his throughout that time. I just really think that he's not as good as he used to be.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the time, but then like I like his podcast, Congratulations.
Oh, dude, Chris is way funnier off stage than on stage.
Yep, I don't really watch his comedy outside of Incorrigible. Incorrigible is funny.
Fantastic special.
The rest of it, I'm like, I don't really watch his special, but I watch
Man on Fire
podcast. Too. Man on Fire is pretty funny. It's not as good as Incorrigible.
I agree, but I loved Man on Fire. That's one of the first stand-up specials I ever watched, actually. That's a good lineup. Tim Heidecker is very niche and very unexpected.
Yeah, I just love him and the On Cinema at the Cinema.
Yeah, no, when
him and Greg Turkington.
When you said that, Tim Heidecker, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, honestly, that you would like Tim Heidecker. Yeah. Okay, what's the next one?
What do you think about people who unplug?
Like from the internet?
Like, I'm going to unplug.
Just from anything in general?
Yeah, or just like, is social media a problem? Or is it like, no, it's not a problem. It's actually just...
I think social media is a problem and a solution.
Okay.
Because I think that... it's just true with anything, like too much of anything is a problem. Social media is extremely addictive, and I've seen it in people's lives become a problem where they just are on it way too much. They're not paying attention to the people around them.
It's easy for it to be addictive.
Yeah, so I think it can be a problem in that sense, but I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, would you say that it is more better than it is worse?
Slightly, yeah. I would
say that it is more better.
I think it's that I would say I would be like 60-40. 60 good, 40 bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because also I think there's just a lot... I think social media is too accessible. Like it's really hard for parents to control that. And there's a lot of weird shit on social media. Like the other day, my Instagram, and it happened to a lot of other people too, I saw it, like people were posting about it. For some reason, this one day on Instagram, a ton of people's algorithms were just pushing videos of people being murdered.
Okay.
All day long. And then and then it got fixed the next day. It stopped happening. But this person literally screen recorded their Instagram and they scrolled 6 times. And in 6 swipes, 5 of the 6 videos was somebody being murdered. And I was experiencing the same thing that day too.
Where you're just getting a lot of that in your algorithm?
Yeah, just a bunch of people dying. And it's just like, so like if like...
I think that is what people like that.
Some people do, but I'm saying like specifically...
If you don't curate that, like YouTube better intervene or something, because that might end up being shit that gets sent to everybody, because it might end up being like everybody loves watching somebody die.
Right. And you could be a kid scrolling through Instagram and you watch somebody get brutally murdered. So it can be problematic, but I think it's definitely more good than it is bad. Yeah,
I think so. It's like someone who unplugs.
So the question is, someone who unplugs, what do you think about it?
I'm just saying, like, make fun of people who unplug.
Yes, I agree. especially if they're like making it super known and being like, I'm on yeah, fuck you. I don't give a shit, dude.
I know.
But
it couldn't be, especially if you're like comedy or anything, you're a stand-up comedian, then...
Especially when they post, like, I'm going to be unplugging from Instagram.
I mean, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm unplugging.
And when they post about it, I'm going to be unplugging for the next 7 days, so don't even hit me up. It's like...
I'm not plugging in, not to anything.
Yeah, that's just kind of annoying.
No plugs.
That's just
no
kind of
electricity.
Annoying. I'm not...
I'm going off the grid. No lights in my house for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Just eating whatever.
Fire.
Cold shit.
I'm burning coal.
Yeah, wood burn.
Yeah.
I'm wood burning for the next 7 days.
I bought a stove for the next 7 days. A wood burn stove.
To prepare for when I unplug. Because I am unplugging.
Yeah, so like some people can be super annoying about it, but I also think that it can
What
be...
do you think about plugs? What do you think about electricity? What do you think about...
I think they're great.
Video? Electricity is pretty good.
I think it's great. I think it's really a positive thing for you.
Electrons, you know? And that's what it is, too, is like... Electricity is just electrons.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about that enough.
Yeah. And there's electrons all around us right now.
Like, why don't they call it electrons? You know?
That's a good point, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
I think it was, yeah, really good.
I think that was an excellent question.
Yeah, and copper is, like, conducts electricity really well.
It conducts electrons.
I know, and it's because of copper's relationship to electrons is why it conducts electricity so well. It's because it's, like, one of those elements that it's, like, the rings... There's like 2 in the outer ring electrons.
Yeah.
It's one of those elements where it's like, oh, it's the perfect association
fit.
of rings.
Fits like a key.
Yeah. Copper and electrons, man. That just... Wow. That's an undeniable pairing, copper. That's most of the questions that I had.
You said most. Is there more?
There were like a couple more, but they weren't as important. They weren't like the main. They weren't the ones that I put a star next to.
How many are there?
I did all the ones that had a star next to them.
How many are left?
There might have been 2, but I closed the WordPad document.
Okay, I was gonna say
I don't even remember what they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, let's just wrap then. That was solid. I think that was a solid pod.
I think so. Yeah.
So I'm actually so curious. I don't know if you want to go ahead and stop it or whatever, but like before I get out of here. Like, what the hell was it like doing a podcast with Josh Ostrif, bro? Because, like, I like Josh Ostrif, but, dude, that guy is, like, I
was just like, I need to get back into having guests, and for some reason, I was like, I'll start with Josh Ostroff.
And I'm going to be honest with you, man, I think that was the worst, because, like, respectfully... I hope that Josh never hears this. I like Josh Ostrif. He's a unique dude. He's weird. I like people like that. But, like, the combination of you guys, you and Josh.
Well, it ended up working out.
It was good?
Yep.
Okay, dope. That's all I wanted to hear. That is all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, it ended up working out. I think that he's, like, critical of... Or he was, like... critical, but I mean, I guess I was critical in response, so that's fine.
Great.
Yeah, it actually was just I think it helped me out because he was saying, like, you have a podcast that makes you like destitute, which is true, or it's like it's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, it's funny to say it like that. So he would say things like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
That's one of the things
so
that I like.
I think that whoever was watching would have liked it.
That's one of the things I like about him is that he's very honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like he.
So I thought it was funny and whatever.
One time he gave me a really hard time because he just came up to me and he was like, "So like you think you're just like really sexy or something?" And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, Josh?" I'm like, "No, I don't think I'm sexy. What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, I mean, you know, dude, it's just like you bring like girls to open mics and like you talk about all these girls in your set," and I'm like,
yeah.
Like
is it the sexiness
like,
that you're on about?
It sounds to me, Josh, like you're just bitchless.
Yeah, I don't think that he was.
No, he has a girlfriend.
For the record, yeah,
yeah, which is crazy to me. I've never had. The reason why I asked that is because I've never had a normal interaction with Josh ever. But that's also why I like him.
I can have a normal enough interaction with him, but it's just kind of like talking shit or something like that.
I think it's because you guys are kind of on a similar wavelength, though.
Yeah, it worked out, even though I haven't talked to him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've run into him a few times. I'm like, I think that it would work, him being on my podcast. It was good. I'd have him back.
You should.
Yeah, I'd have you back. And
hell yeah. Next time you bring me back, bring Eddie as well.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we should do that.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Do you guys smoke inside here?
I don't.
Okay.
But they're not. I don't own the house, so
Gotcha.
So I do not. I smoke outside.
Okay, that's. I just asked because.
But when Eddie comes, we'll have to find a way to smoke and then do the podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can do it at his place too.
He's gonna want to for sure. He's gonna want to.
He's gonna need to.
He's gonna need to.
Eddie, we have to make special
accommodations
for him because he can't not smoke. But I'm excited to have Eddie Sherman on because it'll be funny. I think regardless, as long as we can keep him off of just like rambling about some grift or whatever.
Keep him reined in.
Yeah.
I'll handle that. I'll handle that side of things, reining him in.
Okay,
Eddie, stop.
We'll both be like police.
Yeah.
Like
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. As long as he's the one that's more criminal, then
he absolutely.
You wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I would have to worry about being a criminal in a given group. But Eddie Sherman, I'll make him more the criminal than me.
Well, Eddie is a criminal.
I think so, yeah.
Look at his record.
It's important to stand by that. I don't know if he has a criminal record for sure, and that's off the. I don't want that on the record.
Well, on the record.
Any records that he has.
Well, on the record.
I don't want to put on the record. All right. Well, that's off the record. But, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't have a criminal record.
But thanks for stopping by on my podcast. It's great.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you, Josh.